Want to say good morning to you. Thank you so much for tuning in to another edition of Wncr-Tv Now as we talk about things impacting our state, our city, and our nation. Do a bit of fantastic yesterday, making today even better. Again, good morning to each and every one of you. It is 8 o'clock on this Wednesday. Hump Day Wednesday. Happy Hump Day Wednesday to you. I do hope you're doing well as you possibly can. Looks like after 2 great days of Facebook Live, it doesn't seem to be functioning today and connected to my source. But nevertheless, YouTube is working where one isn't, the other one is. And so I don't know, they're doing whatever they do. So there you go. So let me share the YouTube video on my Facebook page so people will be aware that we're on the air this morning. Let me see here and go to the WNCR TV page. Then I got to find the YouTube link and share the live video there. There's this. Copy link. And say, watch us live. And then I need to paste that there. Live on YouTube. Perfect. So there we go. We got that done. And yeah, and it does appear that I am sending the thing to Facebook, but the book ain't responding today. And again, it worked so perfectly the other days. And now today, it doesn't. So yesterday was the joint session with Congress, State of the Union, or whatever you want to call it, last evening. And I think it was about an hour and a half of comments from President Donald Trump. So we'll talk about that as well. But one thing that is certainly in the area, topic of conversation, is what is it? The storms that are coming in our area. I couldn't even think of what it was for a second there. Let me do one more thing. I shared it on on the WNTR Facebook page, but I forgot to share it on my page as well. So let me get that done. By going back to B. Williams there and say good morning live on YouTube. I love on YouTube. Well, autocorrect be something else. You hear me? It'd be something else. Okay, so got that shared this morning. Again, it's WNCR TV Now as we talk about things impacting our state, our city, and our nation. And there it is. Got some folks on YouTube streaming there. So again, last night was State of the Union or joint, whatever they're calling it. I'm going to, I guess, call it the State of the Union because that's generally what we've been calling it over the years. And so, and I get it that he just got in office a couple of weeks ago. But nevertheless, he is the sitting president of the United States of America, and he's having a joint session with both chambers of Congress. What I want to do is play one highlight, and this is when the beloved Elon Musk is mentioned in the address from the president, and about what what Doge is doing for the American people.
And to that end, I have created the brand new Department of Government Efficiency, DOGE. Perhaps you've heard of it. Perhaps. Which is headed by Elon Musk, who is in the gallery tonight.
So there you go. That was the standing ovation that Elon Musk received on last evening as he talked about the progress of Doge and what Elon is doing, I guess, for the American people. So that was his standing ovation there for government efficiency, which has had some news media conversation there. And we'll talk about that even some more as we continue to talk about that. But again, the thing that is most people are talking about right now is the storm conditions in North Carolina and South Carolina that will be creating tornado watches and or warnings. And so for Columbus, South Carolina, and it's moving towards our direction, of course, schools in our area. So far, Nash County Public Schools have only canceled after school activities, unless there's a new update now, which I'll check for. But Edgecombe County is dismissing 4 hours early. So those students who are living in the Rocky Mount area, who children go to either Fairview Elementary, Baskerville Elementary, J.W. Parker, and D.S. Johnson. That was the fourth. Those schools and students all across Edgecombe County, they will be getting out 4 hours early. It says, due to overnight shift in timing of today's forecast of severe weather, all schools will dismiss 4 hours early. Thank you for understanding and cooperating with us as we prioritize safety for our children and staff. So again, that is happening today, that Edgecombe County Public Schools will be dismissing 4 hours early. And as it stands right now, I don't think there is a similar announcement for Nash County Public Schools, and that means that they are continuing to have school until 3 o'clock. The only announcement they made on yesterday is that due to the forecast of inclement weather and out of the abundance of caution, Nash County Public Schools will cancel all after-school activities on Wednesday, March the 5th. If there's any other updates, we'll keep you informed. And you can download the Nash County Public School app to ensure you receive notification. Download the app by visiting the following links. And, of course, that is where they are currently. Again, it has not been updated on the Facebook page. I haven't seen any other communication to tell me otherwise that they are. Yeah, so it's even on their website, it's still saying just the after-school situation, so extracurricular activities. So schools for Nash County will still operate as a normal schedule as it stands at 8:07 this morning, but Edgecombe County will be dismissing around 11 a.m. Or so, 11 a.m., 11:30 for their schools in the district as well. So make those arrangements for children, that somebody is there to receive them. Again, the storms are headed this way. Duke Power is already ready to respond for potential power outages because there's going to be rain and high winds and things of this nature. So the deal is they're always asking people to stay off the roads and just be cautious there. Going back to the State of the Union, or the speech that Donald Trump gave on last evening. Of course, Trump predicts bumpy ride ahead with tariffs. Of course, tariffs are going to in effect, and there are some things that will come down the pipe. And even when he stops them because of the other products that are coming into the United States of America, they will already be affected by the tariffs. And so there will be a 10 to 25% increase on the cost of service, while the goal of the campaign was to drive down costs. It says, following the second day of bumpy turbulence, Trump played down the potential economic fallout for the trade war that he ignited this week, included 25% tariffs on all Mexico and Canada, an additional 10% on China imports. But in contrast with the ovations that was greeted, his other policy objectives, many Republicans remain seated, a sign of how Trump's most import tax has certainly divided the Republican Party. Tariffs about making America rich again and making America great again. He said it's happening, and it will be happening rather quickly. There'll be a little disturbance, but we're okay with that. It won't be much. Trump added that the reciprocal tariffs tailored to U.S. trading partners should kick in on the second day of April. And I remember he was talking about April 1st and said, well, he better not do it on April Fool's Day. but we'll do it the day after that. One thing I also made mention of is that U.S. and Ukraine could be mending relations. Trump said that he received an important letter from Ukraine leaders earlier that day. I think he said just a few moments ago, which appeared to that Zelensky posted publicly on social media. Ukraine president said he was now ready to work under Trump's strong leadership to end the war and comes to the negotiating table as soon as possible to bring lasting peace closer. He appreciated the letter that was sent. Trump told lawmakers. Zelensky offered an olive branch a day after Trump paused all military aid to the U.S. allies. So there you go. Another thing that happened, of course, is was Mr. Al Green. Mr. Al Green. Yep, that's who it was. And we'll should have a video excerpt from that as well that we'll play for you this morning. And we'll talk about that. I know that was, I get it. I get it and I get it and I don't at the same time. But here it is right here.
We won the popular vote by big numbers and won counties in our country.
Members are directed to uphold and maintain decorum in the House and to cease any further disruptions. That's your warning. Members are engaging in willful and continuing breach of decorum, and the chair is prepared to direct the Sergeant-at-Arms to restore order to the joint session. Mr. Green, take your seat. Take your seat, sir. Take your seat. Finding that members continue to engage in willful and concerted disruption of proper decorum, the chair now directs the Sergeant-at-Arms to restore order. Remove this gentleman from the chamber.
So there you go. Al Green was removed from the floor there on last evening after his outburst during the address from President Trump. And so, I don't know, I hadn't seen any social media conversation in regard to it, but at the end of the day, I do believe that you must hold quorum, or decorum, should I say, quorum too, in a meeting, but decorum certainly within a setting as such. And after being asked to not cause an interruption or not cause disturbance, not once but twice, it was on the third time he was asked to leave. And of course, I'm sure that Representative Green was very much aware that that was going to happen and thought it was the best thing in the interest of the American people or his constituency to do or act the way that he did. Only time will tell whether that is true or not. I would say that in the moment, perhaps not. But that is something that he elected to do. And of course, as the Speaker of the House, Speaker Johnson was well in his right to use force to maintain control and order within the confounds of that auditorium, gallery, or whatever you want to call it, the floor of the House. And so, that's where we are with that. But again, it does signify a pushback from Democrats, or at least those who are subjected to the behavior of Mr. Al Green there from Texas. I was about to say Texas, North Carolina. Where I get that from. So that was one thing I will say about the address from the from the president last night was I did. Because I watched some of it, not all of it. So just for true transparency there. But the part I did catch was the 13-year-old boy that was diagnosed with brain cancer and he wants to be, or wants, yeah, well, I wants to be, you cannot want it, but wants to be a police officer. And there he was with his father, fully vested up or suited up in a police uniform. And you could tell they probably had some brain surgeons trying to, eradicate the cancer from his brain and try to have him have a life beyond what the first diagnosis was. And of course, they only gave him a few years to live. And obviously, he's 13 now. But to see the excitement on his face, to see the sense of value and appreciation that 13-year-old boy was feeling at that moment, and not only the moment of shock when President Donald Trump said, we're going to make you a Secret Service agent, right? And gave him a Secret Service identification. It appeared to be a photo of him for sure. That, to me, was a memorable moment. Of course, there have probably been other memorable moments throughout the thing, but it, to me, showed a sense of humanity from President Donald Trump. Some may say it was all staged or whatever, but regardless of that, it does not take away from how he made that young boy feel in that moment. In that moment of one of these things, of course, I can just imagine a young child having to go in and out of the hospital for various health conditions, and seeing that while he needs help, he wants to be in a department or agency that offers and helps people. That was just, if you hadn't seen it, go back and check it out. But DJ was the young man's name, who will forever be an imprint in my life, at least in this short term. And probably I may go back and remember it later on. But just how President Trump went beyond what he could do and did. I'll say went beyond what a normal president would do. Or what I would say this, not what a normal president would do, but what expectations that most people would have of him. And again, I get it. Others may downplay it and say, hey, it's just for some more political theater. And I get that 100% because I'm totally anti-political theater. But at the end of the day, it does not take away from, I think, the most memorable and life-changing moment of DJ's life going forward as to how he was valued as a person, as a human being, not as a 13-year-old boy that is battling brain cancer, but a 13-year-old boy who has hopes and aspirations of protecting and serving his country, or protectee if he was in the Secret Service, or money in that case. So that was something to certainly think about as well. And then there was Democratic leadership chose Elsa Stockings of Michigan, a first-term senator in the battleground state that Trump won in November, to deliver the party's official response. She accused Trump of unprecedented giveaways to his billionaire friends and warned that we could walk us right into a recession. So we'll look at those comments as well, and many might not have because of the timing in which it would have came on immediately after. But again, out there hearing and seeing all that, you might say, hey, let me take a little break from television, right? So this is her comments here.
And our prosperity, yes, but our democracy, our very system of government, has been the aspiration of the world. And right now, it's at risk. It's at risk when the president decides you can pick and choose what rules you want to follow, when he ignores court orders and the Constitution itself, or when elected leaders stand by and just let it happen. But it's also at risk when the president pits Americans against each other, when he demonizes those who are different and tells certain people they shouldn't be included. Because America is not just a patch of land between two oceans. We are more than that. Generations have fought and died to secure the fundamental rights that define us. We all know that our country is going through something right now. We're not sure what the next day is going to hold, let alone the next decade. But this isn't the first time we've experienced significant and tumultuous change as a country. I'm a student of history, And we've gone through periods of political instability before. And ultimately, we've chosen to keep changing this country for the better. But every single time, we've only gotten through those moments because of two things: engaged citizens and principled leaders.
Wow, if that is not a summary of what I articulate on these airways on a daily basis almost of engagement. I think engagement is critically important. Good morning also to Deborah Gunder. Thank you for tuning in. And all those who may be watching via television, there I'm 113. I'm looking at it on Optimum Cable. It's probably on 21.1 as well. Just the analog channel 20. We did notice went away. Yeah, so again, that is what I've been talking about for quite some time, and that is the idea of engagement. And she used words that you often hear me talk about, being a student of history. I think that is important, that when you are a student of history, you realize that, hey, yep, we've had these moments before, but we have been triumphant in those moments. We have been able to continue to move forward and not be exclusionary during the, well, I ain't gonna say during the process, but at least after the results. There have been a number of results that have garnered meaningful impact to people because people did not give up, because they were resilient. They was fighting what was trying to take things away from them. And again, when you talk about making America great again, obviously you're saying there are some things that were done that made America not so great. And then you identify those things by executive action, executive orders, and or the enforcement of laws. And one of those laws that we talked about, or at least practices or policies and procedures, is the ratification of DEI, the gutting of the Section 5 of the Civil Rights Bill, the ending affirmative action. There are a number of things that continue to roll back. It's almost like roll back the savings, so to speak, of those Walmart commercials many years ago. And this is what we're seeing in America. We're seeing it. We're seeing us going to a situation where, as she talked about, that America may roll into a recession. And because America's economy is so globally interconnected and intertied with so many other countries, that what oftentimes happen, especially with our commerce and our economy, has a global impact. And when you start talking about the cost of production, not going up, that's the cost of goods going up even more. Here it is, less than a year ago, folks were campaigning across this country, here in Rocky Mountain and surrounding areas, of how inflation is real, and how the price of eggs is up, how the price of gas is up, and just life is not affordable. And now you say, hey, we want to charge those importers up to an additional 25% tariff on products coming into the United States of America. Which then means, just common mathematical sense, and everybody knows this, we're just going to be regurgitating just for the sake of regurgitating it, is that if I'm used to getting a product for $100, and now because of a 20% tariff, I'm now paying $120 for that product, I've got to pass that cost on to the consumer. Because at the end of the day, if I'm not gouging my customers, I then cannot afford to pay more for a product and sell it to you at the same price. Thusly, I'm going to have to raise the cost that I'm selling it to you by 20%, ideally by 20%. Some are probably going to raise it by 25 or 22% going forward. So, that's just what it is. So you think about the percent of the tariff, just remember that all businesses are not going to do a straight direct pass over. It's going to be a pass over plus something. So you're going to feel it. You're going to feel it when you're purchasing a car. You're going to feel it when you're purchasing electronics. You're going to feel it elsewhere. And then when you talk about, well, these places are bringing jobs back to America. The last time I checked, you do not build a plant overnight. And so for the years that it's going to take to build a plant, get the necessary zoning in place and all this kind of, no matter how fast you fast track it, as long as those tariffs are in place, for however long they may or may not be in place, we're going to feel the grunt of that. We're going to feel the grunt of that. And so why they moved that way, I have no idea. But I think what had happened before is the idea of threatening of tariffs, and then people move. And now I think we're in a place where, hey, you put them on, we'll put ours on too. So we're going to balance the cost out. So, and all that is doing is driving up the cost for people in Mexico, driving the cost of people in Canada, and also driving the cost of people here in the United States of America, and driving the cost for China as well. So, you know, we'll live through it. We'll get through it. But again, the dollar is going to go a lot shorter distance than what it used to go before. That's something to think about. Of course, phone lines open this morning at 252-407-8432. That's 252-407-8432 is the number to call to participate in today's conversation as we talk about things impacting our state, our city, and our nation, whether it are I came out. And so the other piece that we are certainly talking about is the potential of the storms that are coming in our area as well. We'll get to that in a second. Hey, caller, good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Bronson.
Good morning.
Yesterday, I was listening to Trump at his news press.
Mm-hmm.
And, of course, you know, he always got to glorify things. But he said if Hamas had not released all the prisoners, not prisoners, the people that he captured by Saturday, 12 o'clock, all hell was going to break loose. Now, do we have troops over there? Do we have anyone over there helping them fight?
It's possible. If not, I'm sure they can get there pretty quickly.
Well, he said, and y'all need to get prepared, everybody that's listening, all hell is going to break loose. One reporter said, what are you going to do? He said, just wait and see.
That's dangerous.
He said, He said, in fact, I don't think there's nobody over there to be sent back. He said, I'm so tired of this sending one, sending two, sending the wrong bodies, maybe sending three. He said, but by 12 o'clock, and I don't know if he means midnight or noon, he said, all hell is going to break loose. Then he signed an executive order to get rid of paper straws. He said that then they break, you can't drink anything hot through them. He said it was just a waste of money. So can he stop manufacturers from making paper straws?
I would think so. However, I think it speaks to free market enterprise, right? So if a person wants to produce a type of product, I think they're certainly entitled to do so. If consumers want to purchase it, they're certainly entitled to do so. But he, by executive action, could, I guess, stop all the manufacturing of paper straws and the sale of paper straws in America, similar to the prohibition of alcohol many, many years ago during that particular time.
Huh. And then I was listening to, I don't know who that was from Canada talking about the tariffs, but he said if Trump put all those tariffs on them additional, that we would be in trouble. He said, because they're going to stop all sending everything. He said all manufacturers over here would probably pretty much close down.
Mm.
So, yeah. He said if he want to fight, he said he's going to fight him. He said they're not playing with Trump like Trump said, and he ain't playing with them. So I think we're in for almost doomsday.
That's
I hate
dangerous.
to say it.
Yeah.
It is, because the way both of them was talking back and forth, throwing out threats, and with Trump saying all hell is going to break loose, I'm like, people need to get prepared. They don't need to go out and buy nothing that's not even necessary.
Mm-hmm.
They need to start stocking up and doing whatever they got to do, pretty much build a bomb shelter. But nevertheless, I was just listening to him yesterday. I didn't listen to it last night. I was fed up with it. But maybe I'll go back and listen to it. But it's dangerous now.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Okay,
Thank you much. Yeah, so, wait until 12 on Friday to see exactly what he's talking about there. Looking at this accurate weather map or radar map, this is only going to about 10 o'clock this morning, but you see that band. Of course, if you're watching other news outlets, you've probably seen it as well. That band of severe storms that is headed our way. It's passing through or will be passing through the South Carolina. I guess some of it is in South Carolina right now and parts of North Carolina, in the Charlotte area. Greensboro, Winston-Salem, headed towards Raleigh, covering Virginia, and all that kind of stuff, all at one time, right? This storm is impacting multiple states simultaneously, and this, again, is only through 10 a.m. today, but you can see the severe weather, heavy rain, and winds that would certainly cause tornadoes to spawn out, and we know the danger that tornadoes can certainly do to a community, and they're so fast. I mean, it's so quick. And so we certainly encourage people to stay abreast and thank the Lord for cell phone technology that's kind of looking at your GPS location, try to send you warnings as quick as possible. But it is very hard in most cases to send a warning of a tornado, in that it could just happen spontaneously, while they can look at some of the conditions that are favorable for tornadoes. I mean, a funnel can just form out of nowhere, and then they have to report whether or not a tornado event is actually going on. Just a couple of months ago, Rocky Mount was faced with tornadoes that tore down a couple of businesses there along 301. One was Alpha Automotives there in Hingta, and a number of others, flattened some buildings there as well. And so we're mindful. We're mindful of that. And again, Edgecombe County Public Schools are releasing students 4 hours early today, so be mindful of that. Nash County, as it stands, and before I make such a statement, let me go to their website yet again, just to be sure that nothing has updated since then, that they are still planning to operate a full day. Oh, look at that. I just was just talking about that. Mary Ellen. Let me see. Then this is the little boy that I was just. Am I logged on the Facebook here? Let me see if I am or not. Mary Helen. All right, so not that one. Okay. This was the little boy DJ that I was just talking about just a few moments ago. What's going on here? Okay, there we go. So this is what I was just talking about a few moments ago. The young 13-year-old boy who is a cancer survivor, and there he is with a Secret Service badge as President Donald Trump in the moment said, "Hey, I know you've been sworn in as an honorary police officer all across this country with many agencies, and today we're going to make you an official Secret Service agent as well." And again, to see that expression on his face, the appreciation on his face in that moment, and then the strength of his face is saying, "Hey, look at me," type situation. I think that is a memorable moment. And I get it. Okay, they call the president joint address to Congress, but some things for me is not about party, right? It is, and I don't get how sometimes we say that, but then some are actions on both sides, whether it be Republican or Democrat, that when things are dealing with the humanity of folk, why is it that we're hard to be supportive of that, right? When you think about a young child who one didn't ask to come into this world, and unfortunately was dealing with cancer, brain cancer at that, to be honored in such a way that gives him joy, when I'm sure there are a number of times he's feeling pain. It is just something that I think all should be appreciative of and supportive of, even if it means it's coming from someone who we may not necessarily think is the right fit for our country. And that's not everybody who feels that way. Then there are some who feels like he's the absolute best man for the job. I see those posts all the time. And so that's their prerogative, right? And so they can ultimately do that for sure. And we'll do it. I know there was some conversation yesterday. We was on Facebook Live where there were some guest statements being made about some of the comments in which I was sharing in regards to President Donald Trump and where we are as a country today. But again, I'm sure you're aware of it. Again, I was about to double check that before I saw that post. That's what I was about to do for Nash County Public Schools. Be sure that their post is still, so still the same for the weather update there for Nash County Public Schools due to forecast of inclement weather and out of the abundance of caution. Nash County Public Schools will cancel all after-school activities on Wednesday, March the 5th. If there's any update, we'll keep you informed. And so that's where they are there with Nash County Public Schools at 8:36 this morning. Edgecombe County Public Schools on the flip side of that says due to overnight shift in the timing of today's forecast of severe weather, all schools will dismiss 4 hours early today. Thank you for understanding and cooperation as we prioritize safety for our students. And I think out of the abundance of caution, that is the best thing to do because, again, you don't know what is going on, and you certainly don't want buses out in the roads trying to weather a potential tornado. I would much rather be home or be somewhere than a potential. Now, and unfortunately, for some students, school may be the safest place for them to be because of conditions that some people may find themselves living in, and that's another topic for another day. But at the same time, tornadoes have, if you remember from the group of tornadoes that happened some time ago, tornadoes did strike a school in Wilson, but they were able to rebuild. I want to say a tornado might have had an impact on one of Nash County public schools as well, and they were able to continue to maintain classes in that area as well. So good morning also to Gwendolyn Swain. Thank you for tuning in to Wncr-Tv Now as we continue to talk about things impacting our state, our city, and our nation. And so I told you that the retreat was next week, and it's not next week. It's going to be the week of the 19th or something of that nature is when the city council will go on their retreat. But I do believe that the city council meeting for the first Monday, or second Monday rather, I think that has been canceled if I'm not mistaken. There, or was it the other one? One of them council meetings are canceled. Now I got to go look it up because now I'm confused myself. The UNC system makes its ninth year with no increase set for in-state tuition, which that's certainly good for sure. No increase in tuition. Also, the Rocky Mount Police Department is mourning the loss of a supervisor there. Let me see. Rocky Mount Police Department. Police Department. I saw that circulate through social media on yesterday as well. I think it was a virtual. Here it is. It is with a heavy heart that we share the passing of our dear colleague Lisa Templeton. She passed away yesterday morning at home, surrounded by the loved ones, her loving husband, Rick. As a supervisor of our virtual call center, Lisa was not only a dedicated leader, but also cherished the members of the Rocky Mount Police Department family for nearly 5 years. She played a vital role in the creation of the virtual call center, leaving behind a lasting impact that will never be forgotten. Her unwavering commitment and compassionate spirit will be deeply missed by all those who had a privilege of knowing her. Please keep Lisa's husband, family, friends, and colleagues in your thoughts and prayers in a difficult time. Rest in peace, Lisa. You will be deeply missed. Again, this is a supervisor there. He's a supervisor of the virtual call center for the Rocky Mount Police Department. So mindful of that as well. Speaking of Rocky Mount Police Department, last night the Rocky Mount Police Department school resource officers were honored by Nash County Public Schools as heroes. This recognition highlights their unwavering dedication to build strong and lasting relationships with community and create a safe and supportive environment for students to learn and grow. Their hard work and commitment to protecting and mentoring our youth make a profound impact every single day. Thank you for all you do to keep our schools safe and thriving. So there's a number of school resource officers with the Nash County Public Schools. And what's interesting is that most of these officers, as I'm looking at a photo of them, I've seen them throughout the city. So that is always good that people are making their rounds throughout the community. And Nash County Public Schools acknowledged them as heroes on last evening. One other thing was a update at 2:30. I'm not at 2:30. At 3:42 p.m. on March the 3rd, the Rocky Mount Police Department responded to a fatal motor vehicle crash on the intersection of Airport Road and Church Street. The collision involved a Chevrolet Malibu and a Dodge Ram pickup truck. The driver of the pickup truck was transported to UNC Nash for treatments of injuries sustained in the crash. The driver of the Chevrolet Malibu, 18-year-old Boone of Scotland Neck, and her front seat passenger, Ms. Boone of Halifax, were both pronounced dead at the scene. Additionally, the rear passenger in the Malibu was airlifted to Vidant Hospital in Greenville for medical treatment. The Rocky Mount Police Department Traffic Reconstruction Unit is actively investigating the incident. Anyone with information regarding this crash is urged to call Sergeant Noor with the traffic unit at 252-972-1481. That's 252-972-1481 is the number there. We keep those families in our prayers as well from the Halifax area who lost their life in a automobile accident there. Things are certainly good morning also to Peggy Parker Harrison, who is watching on television. Thank you for tuning in as well. And again, there are a number of people who do watch on television. I remember the Green family, the Janie May and Romaine Sharp, and so many others who are CB, and who I met the other day, Miss Georgia. Thank you for tuning in. Miss Shirley. I mean, there are a number of people who watch this program consistently and say, hey, we just enjoy watching the program. Miss Silver. And I can't even think of them all, but we thank each and every one of you for tuning in as often as you do, as we talk about things impacting our state, our city, and our community. Each and every time that we hit these airways. What else is going on? Allison Williams, thank you for tuning in this morning to Wncr-Tv Now as well. As we talk about things impacting our state, our city, and our nation. I don't know if I talked about this, but I think the Boys and Girls Club Youth of the Year, Ms. Miriam Brown, it was celebrated or recognized as the Youth of the Year for the Boys and Girls Club of 2025. And Miriam actually was a student some years ago at Promised Land Child Care Center. And so it is always amazing to see those students who have come through the child care facility go up and do some amazing things, and to see their transition from how they enter into Promised Land Child Care Center to how they leave, especially with behavior, their ability to share with others, their ability to express their thoughts, emotions. Those things is what we try to do, and their manipulative skills and cognitive skills. All those things are certainly important to be sure that students are meeting their developmental milestones. That's what we try to do. We're not just a child care center of just watching children, but the goal is to empower children to be better off than they were when they came in. We believe that parents, when they're paying what we call tuition and not a child care fee, is that we are wanting to empower that child. And so with tuition, you're making an investment with your child or into your child. And we try to reciprocate that as long as there is a cooperation between the family, the center, and the child, that there should be some positive results, or help you to identify where your child may need some additional resources. That sometimes parents are, they can be with a child 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and not recognize that something is maybe a little bit different about the child, and try to get them those resources that they need so that they can be successful before they get into school. Because oftentimes just a little more ounce of resource at the early age can kind of help change and reshape that child's path. A child who had, for prime example, what I would consider mal-autism, came in the facility, was not talking, was not doing a number of things, and working with the child care staff there and resources that came into the facility. That child is now in school and doing exceptionally well as well. But those things are important. Oftentimes people say, oh, I'm not going to spend the money and sending my child to a child care facility because it's a waste of money and this, that, and the third. And I can tell you, if you send them to a facility, to a center that is engaged in promoting growth, educational opportunities, and resources to that child, then we can certainly help them out at Promised Land Child Care Centers. I guess that's an advertisement there. We're located at 953 Biveny Road. Telephone number there is 252-451-5263. That's 252-451-5263 is the number there to Promised Land Child Care Center. Certainly, we are enrolling children there, depending on the age of the child. We are enrolling children, but you can call and find out more details in regards to that, as to what benefit child care can provide your loving child. Again, of course, I took some child care courses at Isham Community College, and one of the teachers there would say, the best place for a child to be is in the loving care of their family. But oftentimes they know that that's not possible. So then you have to make your child care center just like family, in which the child is appreciative of what is going on there. So that is something to think about if you know somebody who is having some child care issues, and we work with families for sure. 46 minutes past 8 o'clock hour this morning on Wncr-Tv Now. And as I guess I'm in my moment of plugging, let me also remind you that Pop's Diner is downtown Rocky Mount, North Carolina. We're open Sunday through Friday from 11 a.m. until 6 p.m. And of course, we serve hot dogs and hamburgers and chicken and pizza and sloppy joes and bologna burgers and all that stuff. And then on Thursdays, we do Soul Food Thursday, in which the menu changes every Thursday. And then on Friday, we are serving and making available to you fish, different fish. People like catfish, people like flounder, they like whiting, they like tilapia, they like it all. And so we try to have some assorted fish each Friday, different kinds. And then on Sundays, we have our Soul Food Sunday, in which we pretty much have been specializing in ribs and turkey wings, because people say, I can't find turkey wings, and one, they're so expensive and I don't want to take time to cook them just for me. And so we try to be that bridge there on Sundays as well, and offering you that, as well as the full fried chicken and baked chicken in some cases as well. I would say, if you do know you want to come and get some baked chicken, definitely call in to the diner beforehand, just to ensure that we do have it there. What else do we have at Pop's Diner? I don't know, but whatever I missed, we got that too there. Oh, I made some Sunday. I made some shrimp, battered those things up. Man, I tell you, those shrimp were delicious. They were delicious even without the cocktail sauce, because on Sundays I'm pretty much there at the diner, and I work the front, and just about all my business in some aspect I am involved in them. And so Sundays is my working day. And that's one thing about me, is that I never engage or ask a person or staff to do something that I'm not willing to do. And so when it came to it, when no one else could, Bronson Williams changed the diaper at the daycare center. Right now, do I prefer to do that? Absolutely not. So sometimes me and baby drool don't go together either. But the staff there, they don't mind it at all. So we appreciate the staff of Promised Land Child Care, and really staff in early childhood education in general, staff in assistant living or home health care agencies. The things that you do to care for someone else, you are to be commended for it, because it certainly is work for sure, and you be there when others cannot. So we thank all of those individuals. Thinking about that, the names came to mind, and I see him right now, Mr. Bishop Jimmy Williams, who recently passed away. He and his wife, I think it was called All in One, a home health agency here in Rocky Mount. They provide in-home nurses' aides and things of that nature. But of course, he departed from this life maybe a month ago, last month. I can't remember exactly when it was, but we certainly still keep those families in prayers. And again, as I always say, all the bereaved family in prayers during times such as this. Again, today is Wednesday, March the 5th, 2025, a day that we've never seen before. We kicked off the show talking about President Donald Trump's and his joint session with the Congress there. I gave you a couple of highlights. One, Elon Musk was in the building. He received a standing ovation for what Doge is doing for the federal government. Of course, we'll look to see that full story at some time throughout the upcoming years, I guess, or months, and how long that Doge agency will exist there. And I don't know the process of how the creation of a new governmental agency works. To me, again, because I don't know, I will just put this out. I would think that an agency would have to be created by Congress. However, obviously, we see that that may not necessarily be the case. But here's the challenge. Of course, we deal with this on all levels. You can have a person in leadership who will do any and everything that he or she can possibly do until they're checked. And there's probably a number of things that President Donald Trump may or may not do that go unchecked, and they get away with it. Probably the same was true with President Joe Biden. The same was probably true with George W. Bush, Barack Obama, and etc. And Congress' willingness to check it may not necessarily always be there. And so when you create that opportunity, then it sets precedent. And of course, in some cases, precedent is maybe a thing of the past, because with the Supreme Court that we have currently, they're kind of ignoring precedent, right? They're saying, hey, yeah, I know we might have did this, this, that, and third, but we ain't got to do it now. But again, leadership will go in and do a lot of things. Oftentimes, you'll see that happen on the most local level in some of our houses of worship with pastors and church organizations and things of that nature. They will go a bit too far. And if the membership is not astute enough, they could probably have some things happen as well. Also, you've got Lifesavers Resources at 169 South Winston Avenue in Rocky Mount. They offer home care, CPR training, NA skilled assessments. So that person is also watching. Don't know how they're watching, but gave me a text message as well to let me know that they're out there too. So there are a lot of entrepreneurs that exist in our community, and so we're certainly thankful and grateful for the number of skills, the number of services, the number of opportunities that we have right here in our homes or in our hometown. Or I guess my hometown, because not everybody watching may not be from Rocky Mountain, but I certainly am. So we certainly appreciate that. And of course, there with Lifesavers Resources, Miss Rhonda Pittman. She is the agency director there, and of course, we have utilized her with the Promise and Child Care Center and helping us stay abreast with our CPR training to be sure that when an unfortunate life-saving situation may occur, that our staff is well equipped to be able to provide the immediate life-saving aid to a child until the emergency personnel can get there. So we thank her and the agency for that as well. Again, there's so many folk out here who are doing a lot of things in our community, and so we certainly appreciate them for sure. 252-407-8432. We're going to get out of here in just a few moments. Got about a little less than 6 minutes before we get out of here this morning at 8:54 this morning. So remember that. What are we remembering? That we're remembering that Edgecombe County Public Schools are getting out 4 hours early today. Then it says, so of course, Nash County Public Schools not only have Rocky Mount law enforcement officers, but they also have Nash County law enforcement officers. So Sheriff Stone and Nash County officers would like to thank the Nash County Public Schools for honoring the SRO officers this week. During Monday's Board of Education meeting, the SRO deputies will recognize the dedication of public service inside the public schools. Our SRO officers serve both to protect and mentor our youth and wouldn't want it any other way. Congratulations to our Nash County SRO deputies for their public recognition and daily devotion to youth in our community. And let's see. Now, I think I might have seen 2 of the Nash County deputies. And again, they are in areas of Nash County that I pretty much wouldn't go to. And not saying because I don't want to go there, but I just don't have any business there. From the Nashville or Spring Hope or Bailey or Middlesex or wherever it is, I kind of stay in the Rocky Mount area. So I'm more familiar with the Nash County areas in close proximity, but because of Sheriff Stone's openness and great friendship there with Sheriff Stone and Nash County Sheriff's Office, have been around many of the deputies and or detention center officers and toured the jail facility and all that kind of stuff. So we certainly appreciate not only Sheriff Stone, but both of our sheriffs in both Nash and Edgecombe County who work tirelessly to ensure that our underserved areas are represented with dignity and respect, as well as our local chief of police, like our chief of police here in Rocky Mount as well. We certainly appreciate all that he continues to do in our area as well. So with moments left to go, we're going to thank you again. Oh, so she's listening via the radio. Well, thank you for tuning in via the radio, WAJA. That's how she was listening this morning. And so sometime I forget about that we are simultaneously on the radio and we're on sometimes Facebook Live, sometimes not. Of course, today we're on YouTube and maybe tomorrow Facebook Live will work. Who knows? But we thank her for listening and all those who listen via the radio. I know Reverend Higgs listens through the radio. And so there are a number of people who do listen to us in their cars or in their homes or however they are via 102.5. So we're just very thankful for that as well. So until tomorrow, hopefully we'll be back here again if nothing goes wrong with these potential weather events that are going through our area later on today. We'll be back with you tomorrow to do it all over again on WNCR-TV Now. Make it a great and fantastic Wednesday.